15 years. 15 years of friendship, and in one moment, she tried to ruin me. $11,000. Unemployed. Disabled. And she thought I'd just say yes? Let me tell you what happened when my so-called best friend crossed the line, and why walking away was the most satisfying decision of my life. I'm 31, female, and for the past several months, life has been hard. Really hard. I've been unemployed since July 1st, 2025, living in a small, rural town where jobs are scarce, blue-collar work dominates, and opportunity feels like a distant rumor. On top of that, I live with a physical disability that makes many jobs impossible for me. Every morning, I wake up, staring at the ceiling, counting bills I can't pay, wondering how to get through the next week without sinking further. My boyfriend of 2 years is the only one with a steady income. He works tirelessly, juggling his own debts, and I've made a promise to myself, and to him, that I will never burden him with my financial mess. And then there's P. My friend of 15 years. Or at least I thought she was my friend. It started innocently enough. P came to me, excited, saying, "You have to join me in this IT certification program. My computer career is amazing. We'll do it together." I listened politely, trying not to raise red flags in her eyes. But as soon as I started asking questions, the cracks began to show. The tuition? $21,000 for a 7-month program. Half of it covered by FAFSA, leaving me with $11,000 in loans. $11,000, a sum I could never pay back in my current situation. I had bad credit. No income. And yet, somehow, they approved me for that loan. Something about it felt predatory, manipulative, like I was being lured into a trap I couldn't escape. And it gets worse. When I suggested backing out, explaining I simply couldn't afford it, P didn't understand. She didn't say, "I get it, you can't take on debt." No, instead, she immediately asked why my boyfriend wouldn't just pay. I froze. My heart pounded. No. That's not his responsibility, I said, trying to remain calm. But she pressed on. Her eyes bright with insistence, voice sharp, almost accusatory. "I'll pay the first 2 months. Just so you can't back out." I could feel my chest tighten. It wasn't just that she wanted me to go into debt, it was the utter disregard for my reality. My disability. My unemployment. The risk she wanted me to shoulder for her convenience, because apparently, I wasn't a real friend if I didn't sign up to be her study buddy. I tried reasoning. I explained that the certifications could be achieved with self-study for under $2,000. That her push was unnecessary. But she called me crazy and a quitter. I felt my stomach twist. 15 years. 15 years of shared secrets, late-night chats, holidays, laughter, and she reduced it all to numbers on a spreadsheet. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed, heart racing, staring at the dark ceiling. Rage bubbled up, but more than anything, sadness. Betrayal. 15 years. 15 years of friendship. And she doesn't even care about my life, my struggles. She wants me to jeopardize my future for her convenience. I replayed every memory, every laugh, every secret. And I realized, it didn't matter anymore. Some friendships aren't worth the cost, literal or emotional. The next morning, I made the decision. I wasn't going to let guilt or nostalgia trap me. I typed a message to P, carefully choosing words that were calm but firm. I'm stepping away from this program. And from our friendship. I cannot allow myself to be pressured into financial decisions I cannot afford. I wish you the best, but I will not participate in this loan trap. Goodbye. My hands trembled as I hit send. Fear and relief crashed over me simultaneously. And then, silence. Here's the thing about justice, it doesn't always have to be violent, loud, or dramatic. Sometimes, the sweetest revenge is simply survival, and thriving where others try to see you fall. I didn't need to yell, manipulate, or schemingly ruin P. I just needed to refuse her plan and protect myself. Weeks later, I enrolled in a self-study certification course. Cost? Less than $2,000. Accessible. Manageable. Done on my own time. And every time I completed a module, learned a new skill, or received my first certification email, I smiled. P? She's still struggling with her My Computer career plan, frustrated with her own debt, and still trying to find someone else to force into it. Every time I see her posts on social media complaining about tuition, I feel a small, satisfying justice. No confrontations needed. No shouting matches. I didn't need to stoop to her level. I just refused to be manipulated, and came out stronger. Heart racing, palms sweating, stomach knots forming at every conversation with P. The cold, sterile air of the local coffee shop where she tried to convince me. Clicking of the keyboard as I researched cheaper certification options, each new finding fueling my determination. Inner dialogue, I won't do this. I won't let her control me. I've survived worse, and I will survive this. Key dialogue snippets. P. I just want you to join me. It'll be fun. Me. Fun isn't worth $11,000 and my mental health. P. Your boyfriend could just help. Me. It's not his responsibility. And it's not mine to risk my life over your convenience. The revenge, the payoff, wasn't dramatic, but it was perfect. I thrived. I grew my skills, boosted my confidence, and freed myself from a toxic friendship masquerading as concern. The moment I realized I had the upper hand wasn't in a confrontation, but in life itself. Every certification I completed was a quiet, personal victory. Every success in interviews, online projects, or skill-building courses reminded me, she tried to trap me, and I chose my own path instead. And the best part? P's attempts to guilt me or recruit a new study buddy never worked again. She could see I was untouchable. I had boundaries. I had agency. And nothing she did could take that away. Some friendships, no matter how long, aren't worth the cost, especially when your well-being is at stake. True loyalty doesn't pressure you into debt or risk your safety. Protect yourself. Stand firm. Thrive. The universe has a way of rewarding those who honor their own boundaries. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell us in the comments, have you ever had to cut someone off for your own well-being? And of course, subscribe to Story X Daily for more stories of betrayal, revenge, and sweet justice. You won't believe what's coming next.